2025 Hell Hades free-to-play challenge is over. Yesterday was the final day and the results are in. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at the leaderboards and talk about where I finished amongst the field of 55 content creators in this year's challenge. And then we're going to take a final tour around my challenge account so I can show you my roster progression and all of the areas of content I was able to tackle in just 84 days. And then finally, I do want to give away this account as quickly as possible because we have a new fusion launching in just a few days, and I want to make sure the new owner has an opportunity to complete that fusion if they are so inclined. So if you are interested in picking up this account for yourself, make sure you stick around. I will have details on how to do that at the end of this video. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play challenge for the last time in 2025. Let's get started. Just a quick reminder about how I approached this challenge this year. Last year, if you recall, I finished second out of the content creators, but I was definitely trying to win that challenge, and therefore I was optimizing for challenge points. Whereas this year, I was optimizing for the health of the free-to-play account. I was doing things that potentially could actually hurt me in the challenge, but would benefit this account in the long term. And I'll give you a couple of examples. The first thing that I did is I unlocked the gem mine really early. Now, this contest was actually only 84 days this year. I'll actually show you we are on login day 85, but this is a day past the contest. They did 12 weeks. 7 times 12 is 84. Last year, I think they did 90 days. I don't know why they made the change. It was a little bit awkward for some people, but I mean, they let us know early enough that that was happening. And I think it being shorter was a relief for a lot of people. But simultaneously, this account is hitting its stride right now. So if I had another week, I think I could have done a lot of things in the next week in terms of progress. And actually, I think there's a lot of progress ready to unlock for this account over the next month or two. So whoever takes over this account, I think is going to be very happy with what they're able to accomplish, in the near future. But again, I unlocked the gem mine in an 84-day contest. You don't get the return on investment for 100 days here. It takes 100 days to get your return on investment. So I probably unlocked the gem mine by like day 15 or something like that, I want to say. And therefore, in another 30 days or so, this will now start paying big dividends. Let me click these red dots because I have to. In addition, I did unlock the Guardian Ring right away. I think that was beneficial in the challenge, but I did unlock it because I think that's what you should do on a free-to-play account. I only pulled shards during 2 times events or in, events going for the fusion for the guaranteed champion. So for instance, I just pulled, my 2 times voids. And as a result, I actually think the roster is in a really healthy place. We'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video. Other things that I've done for like the free-to-play approach is I've focused on collecting the champions and building them out for these fusions. So you can see some decent progress in the Lady Mikage fusion. I have 2 of the epics here, and I have 4 of the rares that I need to get the other 2 epics. So we're moving in the right direction. Razin is actually pretty close. I'm doing really well on Razin. I have one, let's see. I have 1 more rare to go, and I can get Razin, or this account can get Razin. So this epic is ready to fuse. This epic doesn't need to be fused because I actually got a copy of Arrhenius. It looks like I need 1 here too. So I need 1. I need Marked, and I need Halberdier. So I need 2 rares in order to complete the Razin. In addition, I've collected a lot of the fragments. Huntress is ready to go. Bloodhorn's ready to go. You can see I've got 60 of the Quintus fragments. I'm doing well in Live Arena. Archmage Helmet is almost done. I'm sorry, not almost. He's halfway. Drexthar. I've been picking up the Drexthar fragments. I've been picking up fragments for Lamasu and Embrus. I've been picking up Mithrala fragments. I've been buying Yakarl fragments. I did not buy many Yenica fragments, but I started that. So these champions are on their way, and they're about as progressed as I think I would normally do. I've certainly missed a little bit there, but not badly. Like with Drexthar, I could probably have had like maybe 40 fragments, but sometimes, you forget for an extra 12 hours, and unfortunately, this is on your timer. So when you get a fragment, it takes 24 hours to unlock the next fragment. So I did stuff like that. The Great Hall is in very good shape. This is one concession to the challenge where in the last few days, I didn't really have the medals to get stage or to unlock level 10 here, which you need to do for the arbiter missions. But I just decided to throw in, the points here just to get a couple of extra points. But also, I actually think this is not a bad thing to do, because if we look at the arbiter missions, at some point here, I'm going to have to win 200 classic arena battles anyway. So really, this is it only takes 250 wins in order to unlock level 10. So I don't feel that was much of a sacrifice to kind of flesh out the Great Hall. Oh, by the way, I should show you. I've been playing a lot of live arena, so I have good area bonuses in a lot of places. And these area bonuses have really helped with Demon Lord, especially. You can see whoever takes this over, by the way, I have put some speed into the Demon Lord area, so just be aware of that when you're speed tuning a team in the future. So yeah, again, really, really healthy place, and we'll talk about this account a little bit more in depth later on. But let's go and check out how we did. How did we actually finish in the challenge? You know that my initial goal was top half. So there were 55 content creators. I was like, I wanted 27th or better. Right, 28th is literally the middle rank. I wanted 27th or better. But then as it progressed, it turned out that we were competitive. We were much more competitive than I expected to be. So eventually I was like, all right, top 20. Well, what about top 15? I thought top 15 would be good finish. And then in fact, let me show you where we ended up. So this is the Hell Hades page for the free-to-play tracker. And here's the leaderboard. And this is the final assessment. We are in 7th place here. Let me zoom in a little bit. All right, so 7th place. And you can see we were pretty close. We were pretty close, actually. I do feel like, and I'll just say this, it doesn't mean much, but based on the slow roll, I wasn't putting in as many hours as I probably could have or should have in order to compete as well as possible for my team. I did push pretty hard in the last 18 hours. I probably played like 8 or 9 hours in the last 18 hours to try to get some points, and I got about 900 points in the last day to jump from 10th to 7th. I think if I had had another 12 to 18 hours, I might have been able to jump a little bit further. I was really hoping to catch YST. He was my captain in last year's challenge. I was hoping to catch YST, but he was able to keep ahead of me. Congratulations to Hell Hades, by the way. 3rd place, which is absolutely fantastic. And our buddy Bront here at 16,622 points in 2nd place. Bront led a good chunk of the challenge in 1st place, but Bone was able to overtake him. I don't know Bone, but Bone, congratulations if you watch this video. Well done indeed. Now, one of the things about these scores is just be aware that the content creators, there's an extra part of their challenge that's different from the community challenge, where we get bonus points based on where we are ranked in the dungeons at the end of each month. I didn't try for any bonus points, really. I did a little in the 1st month, but you can see down here, you get these extra points. So if you're number 1 on the leaderboards for a particular dungeon, you get 250 points. If you're in the top 10, you get 225, and you get less and less the lower you're down. But those points get added to the other points that you would get just for completing the various tasks. And so as a result, my bonus points were maybe not as good as they could have been. But still, we did you'll see we did a bit of work in the last day to get ourselves in position to get some bonus points, and locked up 7th place. Couple of shout outs here. I want to shout out Fox Mode, who is a viewer of the channel, and we chat, and he was very active in the Discord. I think he had a lot of fun and learned a lot, did really well. Top 10 finish here for Fox Mode. Also, Broken Not Dead, another viewer and content creator who watches the channel and is a friend of the channel. Broken is awesome. You should check out these content creators' channels if you haven't before. You can find their links right in here. Just have to find their logo, like this is crop, and you just click on that, and then you can go right to their channel, whether it's a Twitch channel or a YouTube channel. Yeah, and then obviously Bront, and we also have a couple of other content creators we worked with, did collabs over the course of the challenge, like Roadblock. Roadblock finished in 17th, very respectably, over 10,000 points there for Roadblock. So Roadblock, congratulations on a good finish as well. And yeah, Nub ended up, he was very high. He was ranked as high as 5th at one point. I think he went on holiday and decided, he was finishing like 2 or 3 weeks early, and he kind of got knocked down here, but still finished in the top half as well. My buddy Pogo Pink Tie, good finish there at 24th, still in the top half. So yeah, a lot of great finishes here. People were working hard. I think they did really well. I'm interested in comparing this year's challenge to last year's challenge, because last year's challenge we weren't allowed to use legendaries, but I don't think in this year's challenge we actually did any better than we did last year. Like the challenge without legendaries and the challenge with legendaries, we all basically finished up in around the same place with around the same number of points that we had last year, which I think is kind of interesting. Okay, so here are the individual content area leaderboards. And this is something that I've talked about before. I believe that gacha games push players to collect champions. I mean, they're champion collectors. There's a reason to do that. There's an emotional reason to do that. But they want you to spend money to collect champions. And as a free-to-play content creator, I'm always trying to counter that pressure a little bit by saying, you don't need as many champions as you think. You just need to optimize the champions that you have. And again, we'll look at my roster and what I've been able to accomplish in-game in a little bit. But here you can see I finished in 25th in terms of champion development. So I have 10 total 6-star champions. And by the way, I think I made 3 of those in the last like 2 weeks. So I did most of what I did with very few champions. I do want to show you this versus the content creator like community as a whole. So if we just look at the top development here, so this is all of the content creators ranked 1 through 10. You can see Finally He Sleeps has 19 6-stars versus my 10, right? Bront Cat Herder, who finished in second, has 18. He has 8 more 6-stars than I do. Broken Not Dead, who finished 1 place behind me, has 18, right? Hell Hades, who finished in 3rd place, has 15. And then again, if we look at mine, right, I only have 10. I only have 10 6-star champions. And yet I was still able to finish in 7th place. And this is, to some extent, there is a bit of skill, right, in that. So my knowledge of the game and my skill level at the game impacts my ability to do more with less. But simultaneously, it's a proof of concept, right? I don't believe that I am more skilled at this game than Hell Hades, for instance. I don't believe I'm more skilled at this game than Bront Cat Herder. I believe that a lot of the content creators have a great deal of skill and knowledge of the game. Our expertise may be in different areas. For instance, I'm more free to play. Some people may be more arena. Some people may be more end game focused, whatever it happens to be. But I just want to say that you can do a lot in this game if you focus on building a roster in a good way that works synergistically, and then you optimize each champion. And again, we'll talk more about that when we look at my account. But so again, basically, less than 2/3 of the development of most of the content creators at the top of the leaderboard. My Great Hall development, 15th out of the 55 content creators. And again, this is not something I focused on getting a lot of points in. So I think that my slow roll approach here probably meant less Great Hall development. But again, I'm going for that Arbiter. I didn't complete my Arbiter. A lot of content creators did, but I'm close. I'm very close. Faction Wars progression, 4th out of all 55 content creators. And again, with 10 60s versus 18 for Bront and, 15 for Hell Hades. So you can do great Faction Wars stuff with fewer champions. And I've talked about how before, but I'll talk a little bit more about how to do this. But I think this was really a focus for me. I think when I had time in game, this is what I wanted to do. I certainly left stars on the board. I think I probably could have gotten over 600 if I had had a little bit more time. There were days where I basically didn't do Faction Wars because I didn't have the time to do it. But this is an area I think new players can focus on, new accounts can focus on, and get a lot of value. This is one of the reasons why my bad luck on gear was not as deleterious, as harmful as it would have been in other years. Classic Arena rank, by the way, this is kind of a weird rank. I'm tied for 3rd. There were 2 people in Platinum, and then there were like 20 of us in Gold 5. So this isn't really 16th, this is 3rd. Tag Team Arena rank, same thing here. I'm in Bronze 3. I think that there were like 5 or 6 people who were in bronze 4 and everybody else was in bronze 3 or bronze 2. So again, this is not necessarily 15th. I don't know why it's ranked 15th. It's like tied for 5th. In fact, I can show you those things. That would be easier maybe rather than trying to explain it. So here, if you go to tag team arena, you can see like, okay, so everybody's in bronze 3. So literally I'm ranked first, but for some reason I'm 15th. I don't know why, but that's just the way it works here. Yeah. So anyway, some of these rankings are not as clear as they should be for whatever reason. I know that Saf and HH worked really hard on this website and getting the scoring correct before the end of the challenge, but there's still a couple little errors, not in terms of recording, like the scores are all correct, but in terms of the display, it's a little bit weird. So my current fastest champion was really slow this year. Last year, my fastest champion was close to 300 speed. But again, this shows you the bad look I kind of had on gear this year. Still decent, not bad, right? I was able to figure it out. Normal campaign progression, it doesn't really matter, campaign. Doom Tower rotation. For this Doom Tower rotation, I was ranked 3rd, stage 59 of hard mode. This is full clear on normal and stage 59 on hard mode. This, I definitely have more progress to be made on. I skipped 20 or 30 days of Doom Tower over the course of this challenge. So I did not max out any of my stages. There were a ton of points left on the board there. But this also takes time, right? Finding a solution, implementing a solution for a difficult Doom Tower boss takes a lot of time. But we were able to do a lot this rotation. Demon Lord progress 12th, which is really good. I have a 2-key Nightmare on every single affinity, full auto. You can just let it go. It doesn't matter the affinity. I have 2-key Nightmare. I'm getting closer to a 1-key. I'm not really that close. I haven't tried much with Ultra Nightmare, but I can't even really get the lowest chest with 1 key. I think you need 17 million or something, and I wasn't doing that. I was doing like 11 or 12. So I haven't done much with Ultra Nightmare. Hydra progress says number 1. It's not true. 2.16 million of hard mode is not the rank. This is messed up. The points are right, but the ranking's wrong. I'm like 15th or something. Chimera progress 8. That is true. I missed my last key this last week. Unfortunately, I think I could have finished in like the top 3. My best damage was actually closer to 30 million, maybe over 30 million. But I just wasn't able to log the key in time. So unfortunately, that didn't get onto the leaderboard, which, lost me maybe 100 points here, which is unfortunate. Dragon rank 6. So best stage is hard mode 7. Ice Golem, we're on hard mode 1. Fire Knight is the one I did the least of. I'm on stage 20, but it's definitely not full auto. I had to manual this. You can see it was 26 minutes to get that done. Spider, we finished in 1st place, hard mode 2, and I definitely think I have the champions to push this further, maybe up as high as like hard mode 6 or something, but it would require a little bit of investment in some champions. The Minotaur and Potion Keeps don't really matter. We're all basically tied in all of those. Iron Twins, 13th place. I feel like there's more progress there. I don't have a reliable decreased speed champion. That's all it takes. Just one champion to do that. And I have the champion. It's Ruella. I just don't have her built yet. So as soon as Ruella is built, I think I'm going to be able to push these to like probably 15 or so on most affinities. Sand Devil, we finished in 8th. Can't really push past stage 15. Stage 16, I get wiped out. Stage 15 is pretty easy. I don't know why, but there's a big jump in difficulty at stage 16. Shogun's Grove, we finished in 1st place, stage 20, which is not full auto, but it's sort of auto and manual. Like you change things a little bit. It's not difficult to get stage 20 done. I could probably full auto like stage 16 or 17. And then the next ones I need to manual. And then the event dungeon, we were 16th, but that ended a while ago. So as you can see, the rankings are all very good, right? All of the rankings are high, top 10 in most things, top 5 in a lot of things, finished number 1 in several things. And all of this with the average development. Out of 55 content creators, we were 25th. I'm sorry, 56 content creators. We finished 25th in overall development. And that's really the thing I want to drive home. And what I was trying to accomplish this year is, could you just do that? Could you play good free to play content like tactics and still do well in the challenge? And I think we've proved that you can. You're not going to top the boards. You're not going to be in 1st place. You're not going to be in 2nd place doing it this way, because there are so many points that I left on the board, so many resources that went into like snowballing the account for the future. If we were to play this account for another 84 days, I think it's highly likely that we would surpass everybody who continued to play for the challenge. Like if you're just playing the YOLO approach, trying to get the best, legendaries that you can and like push all like we'll match everybody's progress in the next 84 days. I feel really confident. So let's go ahead and take a look at the account now, and I'll show you exactly why I think that's true. Okay, let's start with the roster. Now, I think I made a mistake early on in that I leveled Athel before Alice. Alice is actually, she was great. She was a great campaign farmer. She became my campaign farmer. She did really good work for me. I was able to book her out relatively early. This was a massive part of the account, like was Alice. The two most important champions on my roster, by the way, up until recently when I got Lord Entertainer Fabian, because I actually think he's a beast, but were Alice and Tagore. Tagore was the MVP of this event, I think, by far. I wish I could have gotten him into like a good regen set, because I think that would push him even better, or like a bolster set if I got a great bolster set. Unfortunately, my bolster sets were okay, but not awesome. So I've got them somewhere. They're somewhere on the account, but they're not on any of my main champions. But Tagore, I never built him before. He's an absolute beast. All that speed, sustain, the hit. He stays alive. He's got an AoE revive. He just provides so much value to the team. I think this is one of the best epics in the game that I never knew about. He's absolutely amazing. I did get Dawncaller Sabbatha through the first fusion, the Esme fusion, I think, or maybe this might have even been the Mad Hatter fusion. I think it was the Mad Hatter fusion. And I was able to get a couple of copies of her, so I did build her at one point. In terms of the order of 6 stars, I think it was Alice, then Athel, and then I'm pretty sure it was Geomancer and Tagore, but I don't know what order they were. You can go back and check it in my videos. And then I think after that, it was Anchorite and then Morag. I think that's right. As you can see, I have not 6-starred Ugo. So one of the things that I learned is, first of all, Tagore has been underrated. He's really, really good. And Ugo is overrated. She is overrated. I think she's very good. I think she's phenomenal at Hydra. But I think as an early game epic, overinvesting in Ugo is just not. I don't think that's a great idea. She's got an okay kit. Her A2 is amazing. Her A3 is okay. Her A1's, like her passive's, She doesn't give you any help as a reviver. She just doesn't. Every once in a while, like it's like winning the lottery, her revive helps you, but for the most part, it doesn't. And I think that, unfortunately, I needed cleanses. I really needed cleanses in this challenge. And I found Anchorite was as good a cleanser, if not better, than Ugo, because Ugo removes heal reduction and 1 random debuff and then heals you a little bit. And Anchorite, what he does is he removes 1 random debuff from allies and then increases the duration of your buffs. So you can actually use this when you don't need a cleanse. So it just has more utility. It's not quite as good a cleanse, and it's not a heal, obviously, but he has this massive heal, and he has a little heal on his A1. So yeah, so these are my 10 6-stars. Alice, Fabian, who's incredible, by the way. He's super. Dawncaller Sabbatha, who's not quite as good as I thought she was going to be, but she does give me an increased attack and increased defense, which I needed. Geomancer. What I've learned about Geomancer is he's extremely good. He's maybe not as good early on as I thought he was going to be. He definitely solved some problems for me, but I actually only use him in about half of my solutions. He's not like a plug-in everywhere, use him kind of guy, although I've heard that from a lot of players. Maybe people will disagree with me. I've got him in a regen set, which honestly, and I also have him in a Blood Shield ring. He was able to get me through a bunch of Scarab bosses. He was able to solve a lot of problems for me. He was able to solo a couple of pieces of content. Often he was the last guy alive. He definitely helps in clan boss. So he's a must build, but he's not like a just one size fits all solution for all content. He's just not. You need the right team around him. You need the right gear. And you need, a couple other things, but that's basically it. I like Geomancer, but I honestly, I was wondering if I would be like, if my opinion of Geo would be changed. if I'd be like, oh, I've always been underestimating this guy. And the answer is no. Like, he's great. He's great. But honestly, Tagore was more valuable on the account than Geomancer. Tagore was in 95% of my solutions. Geomancer was in like 60% of my solution. That's just what happened. Morag is very good. She's very good. She's probably rated just about right by the community in that she's not really like a top 10 or 20 epic in the game. But if you get her, you can use her to very good effect in a lot of different ways. Krydan, I probably 6-starred a little bit early, honestly. I was choosing between him and Ruella, and I wish I had picked Ruella to 6-star before Krydan. Krydan is helpful. He's good. He helped me in a lot of content. His freeze was particularly useful. I used him in arena. I used him in wave content. But he didn't help me with Fire Knight as much as I thought he would. And he doesn't really provide, at least with the gear level that I have, much progress on his own. Like, he made things a little bit convenient, but Ruella, I think, would have provided more progress. And yeah, I recently pulled Coldheart, so I've got her building. I have not yet 6-starred Genbo, but I do think the next 6 stars should be Genbo, Ruella, and Coldheart, those 3. And then maybe at some point in the future, Crypt King, Grawl, and Ugo, and maybe Sun Wukong would all be 6-starred. And that would give us 16 6-stars. And I think that's a really good roster. Those 16 champions really give you a lot. As far as the other champions that I have that are like vault champions who could potentially, also be 6-starred, there are a few. I've got Husk, who I do think could be 6-starred. I've got High Katoon, who I think could be 6-starred. And yeah, then out of the other epics, I think Golden Reaper would be a decent 6-star. Certainly Vergis would be a decent 6-star. And Whisper is a must 6-star somewhere down the road. So I also think Hoskarul could be a decent 6-star, and Wuzgar could be a decent 6-star as well. I also have Fane, who could be good, but I don't think is needed for this. And then I've got a bunch of dupes. Got a dupe Whisper. Yeah. So whoever takes this on, consider your next steps carefully. But I've got a lot of 40s here. These are not chickens. These are faction crypt champions who are built and have gear. They don't have masteries and stuff like that. But a lot of these champions are really good for faction crypts. There are a few 4-star chickens, like the second preserver is not, 4-star chicken and stuff. But yeah, great faction crypt progression. I'll show you. Man, we got 528 stars. 528 stars. And there are more available. Dark Elves is going to get pushed, with Coldheart here, bringing in Coldheart. That's going to be a massive push. I've got the revivers here. I've got 2 revivers in this faction. So that really should be able to get really far. The furthest one I actually got was Sacred Order, which is 56 stars out of 63. But I'm on stage 20. All I need here really is a reviver or a healer. And I think I would get stage 21. And then I think Barbarians did decent. Where are Barbarians? 37. Is that the next highest? Orcs 37. Ogrins 39. That's all Tagore. That's Tagore carrying an entire Ogren team of nobodies. Undead is 39 as well, I think, because of Grawl and now Fabian and Grinner is my reviver. So this is a very good team that will do well into the future. And I love Fabian for this faction. Like, he is going to take you to stage 21 and solve all sorts of problems along the way. Stage 19, 20, and 21 be a lot easier with Fabian on the account. As you can see, Fabian is, he's got the 3-star soul. That's what I was able to do. I wasn't really able to go past that. I didn't want to push for the 4-star soul and waste a lot of resources. As far as where the account is concerned right now, we've got some good shards here. So 4 sacred, 6 primals, 20 ancients, and several hundred mystery shards. So if you want to go for the most recent fusion that's starting in a couple of days, you have the shards to do it. Yeah. Doom Tower. Well, let's talk about Clan Boss. Clan Boss is important. So as you can see here, Brutal, right? Brutal, I did this on Void Affinity, 33.64 million on a quick battle. So we've got that locked. And you can see that team there. Ugo is not 60 yet. So a 68 Ugo would maybe provide a little bit more, but I don't think so. I don't think there's much there because the only thing I think you would really benefit from, a little bit of survivability for her, but you would be able to, get the War Master. So you might be able to get a little bit more out of Ugo at 60, But I actually think there are speed tunes available that I never got to, that I intended to get to, that would work better and don't require Ugo. So, that's where Clan Boss is. As far as Nightmare is concerned, this is a 2-key on every affinity. I think it's now a 2-key on Void Affinity as well. So, yeah, you only need 39.17 million. And I think I pulled down like anywhere from about 18 million to something like 24 million. So it's much more likely to be a 2-key. But Void Affinity is the scariest one because Geo doesn't do as much damage against Void Affinity. He does more damage against any other affinity. As far as Hydra is concerned, my Hydra team for normal, I think it does like 11 million is my high. So you can actually come in here and just use the quick battle and you'll probably get, the level that you need to make sure you get the top chest. For hard, I'm not getting the bottom chest yet, but I'm not that far away. And I think, again, Ugo here at 6 stars would help. And certainly I just leveled up Rector Drath. Putting Rector Drath into the team should help with this as well. So that's something to consider moving forward. And Chimera, I think I could do 30 million here on this one. And on normal, I think I got like 17 million or something. So, or maybe it's even 30 million on normal. I think it's 30 million on normal. And it was something like 17 on hard or something like that. But I didn't get the top chest, so I didn't record the key. Yeah. What else? What else can I show you? I don't know what else to show you. The dungeons are all in good shape. Everything's into hard mode except for Fire Knight's Castle, which is 20. But Dragon is stage 7. I don't think stage 7 was full auto, but I think stage 6 was. Spider, this was definitely not full auto. This was manual. But I didn't program like a team. So I could probably program a team to get this full auto. Yeah. This Iron Twins, I think I can push. I think I could push this to 12 today. But I'm still playing in order to make sure I'm not losing out resources for whoever takes over the account. I think I'm going to get that clear. I'm going to try to get up here. If I can get this Void Shard before the weekend ends, then I will pull it, during... Oh, it doesn't look like I'm going to... This will be... Well, maybe tonight I could get it. I think I might be... Yeah, as far as souls are concerned, we got some souls. You can actually... We did do too badly on souls. We did okay on souls. It wasn't, like, phenomenal, but we were able to get a few 1-star souls. So, we've got the free souls we got. 1 star on Sabbatha, 1 on Geo. I bought all of these for the most part. I don't think I really pulled any of them. 2 on Athel, 1 on Cryodan, 1 on Crypt King, 1 here on Gembo, 1 on Ugo. I even just got a couple on Cold Heart. I have another 1 star for a second Cold Heart if you pull that. So, yeah. So that's where we are. That's where we are. I do think Fire Knight's going to be unlocked with the addition of Ruella and Cold Heart. I think that takes you to 25 really easily. There we go. So a really nice account, 2,000 gems waiting for you. Not a lot in terms of saved resources here, but 2,000 gems waiting for you. The account is all set up for a free-to-play run moving into the future, or you could transition this to a spending account if you wanted to, and I think you'd start from a really good place. And again, you're set up for the next fusion if you want that, and you know how to do that. So if you are interested in the account, this is the thing. I'm going to be giving away this account, and I'm going to be giving it away on Monday. So today is Saturday. I'm giving it away in 2 days. It's probably less than 48 hours from the time you see this video. So in order to do this, if you want this account, if you are interested in this account, first of all, I'm going to ask you a couple of things. One is that please play the account. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give this to somebody who's going to enjoy this account moving forward. The other thing is, you can decide to go for this fusion or not. I think you're in a position where you could make this fusion. But if you don't want to make this fusion, you can certainly save for the next one, so be aware of that. And in order to do this, all that you have to do is be a member of my Discord. You want to go to my Discord. Here it is. And basically, on the left-hand side here, you just want to scroll down until you get to the account giveaway channel in the special events section. You want to click on that. You'll see here are the rules. And then it says respond to this message with your favorite emoji to enter. And all you have to do is click on add reaction. and then add any emoji that you want. It doesn't matter how many emojis you add, you will only be entered once. And then what I will do is at some point on April 7th on Monday, probably midday, probably around noon my time, Eastern time here in the US, I'm going to spin the wheel. This is the same wheel that we use for takeovers, or we used to use for takeovers. So basically it's just going to randomly pick the winner out of all of the entrants. So everybody can just add their emoji and enter once, and that's the way that'll work. Yeah. And that's all you have to do. That is it. Sign up and get your chance to win this account. And like I said, I think there's a ton of progress to be made here for whoever takes this over. I would definitely focus on Ruella and Cold Heart as your next 6 stars. Again, you've got the Ugo, you've got the Crypt King Grawl, you've got the Whisper in the Vault, you've got other champions, you've got the Wukong here. And by the way, I've got a ton of books for you. As you can see here, I have 12 legendary tomes, 20 epic skill tomes, 44 rare skill tomes. So any champions that you take the 6-star in the near future, you can go ahead and book out. I've also got, I've got Brews. I've got a barrel. I've got tons of chickens for you. I've even got 2 5-star chickens. And in fact, here, I've got a bunch of chickens. You can see all of these level 15 champions are 4-star chickens. So I've got a whole bunch of these. I've got some 40s that are ready to turn into 5-star chickens as well. There's more in the vault. A lot of the champions in the reserve vault, by the way, just be careful. Some of these are fusion champions. So you want to make sure you hold on to the fusion champions for Razin and for Lady Mikage and so on and so forth. But a lot of these champions could be used up either as 3-star chickens, or you can level them up, use them for 4-star chickens, use them for faction crypt champions. You probably don't need many faction crypt champions. Most of the factions are in a good place for faction crypts. But just be aware, there's a lot on this account that can move it forward very quickly. I'm not leaving you with no resources. You've got gems, you've got chickens, you've got books, you've got everything you need to pick a direction for this roster over the next month or so. You got enough shards to go for a fusion. This is really, really an account that has an identity, has a good core identity, but still has the flexibility to go in a lot of different directions. And you have the epic champions to kind of decide that if you want to keep it free to play. Again, I expect the next few legendaries to be important. But remember, we're on the path to Yakarl. We're on the path to Arbiter. We're pretty close to Arbiter. We are, what is it? We're 17 missions away, all of which are basically doable. All of these stage 20 on auto are going to be easy, except for Fire Knight. But again, Ruella and Cold Heart are going to solve that problem for you, I think. And everything else is doable. Every single one of these is doable. We just have to get past this Ascend a Void Champion at level 6 of Ascension. So that's probably going to be Cold Heart. And then we just have to do the classic arena battles, get, the affinity bonus to 10, and you're going to cruise all the way through this. So Arbiter is right there. Arbiter could be the champion that you book. You don't have to book Arbiter. You can run her unbooked. Yeah, be active in arena. We're in Gold 5 arena. We're in a really good place in terms of arena. We're in a really good place in terms of tag team arena. Keep using that to get yourself the materials to, get yourself your Drexlar, all that stuff. Like, if you are an active player who wants to take over a really good account, then this one could be fun. All right, that is it for me today. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think about our 7th place finish? That's pretty respectable, isn't it? Maybe you expected me to finish higher. I know I'm the free-to-play guy, but I thought I did pretty well this year. And also, talk about the other content creators who surprised you this year in terms of their finish. What did you learn? I think we all learned a bunch of things from this free-to-play challenge. We always do. I know I did, but I want to hear your thoughts as well. All right, that's it for me today. I think I said that already. Thanks for hanging out. I have been Colred. I'll see you in a non-free-to-play challenge video very soon.